Hello, exciting news in the Amiga world. There's a new debugger out by Alpine 9000 called Engine 9000, which is really cool. It's just alpha right now, but I've been playing around with it, and one of my favorite games of all time is Lionheart from 1993. Amazing, amazing game. So just want to take a look at some of the effects and how things are done. So let's start off here. On this side, you can do well the scrolling. So if you take that off, look what happens. So um, and then put that back on. So then you want to check out the sprites. What is sprites? What is hardware sprites? And what is not? So if we turn all the sprites off, and it's easier if we take all the bit planes off too, and then you just see the copper background. So yeah, let's look each sprite one at a time. So the first one, look at that. You got, I was blown away when I was checking this earlier that the water is a three-color sprite animated, I think, with maybe a modulo there too. But yeah, so you've got the first sprite is just the hearts at the top, three colors, and then three color water, and then sprite number one, you got more hearts and you got more water. So look how the water has been like multiplexed across the screen, right? So it's one part of it there, same part repeated, and then the second part repeated makes the water. Yeah, I was very surprised. I never knew that they were using sprites for the water. And then if you get the next sprite, three color there, and then there you go. You got half of Baldane, and then you got it's reused over on the side, and that's just three colors, right? And then the next one is makes it attached. So then you can go from three colors to 15 colors. So that's what you've got there. You got half, they're 16 pixels wide. So you got 16 pixels of your hero, and then 16 pixels is all you need for his head at the top here. And then you got the other half of the player, and then one half of the moon for sprite number six. And sprite number seven, the other half of the moon, and the other half of the player. So he's 32 pixels wide. And if you use the sword, now I wonder how that works because it looks like that becomes, let's see, if we take the sprites all off and we do the sword, no, nothing comes up. So how is that? Um, let's see. We'll take all these off and just have them. Um, yep. So oh look, it's only partly colored there, right? So yeah, there's the full color. So it looks like there's other parts of it that are the sword. So let me try going through here one at a time and doing the sword. Uh, oh, there you go. It's partly on sprite zero. So I always thought that there was a restriction of 32 pixels just for the hero, and then that was why some people complained that the sword wasn't, didn't have a big enough range. But if you look at this here, sprite number zero is also, um, it's not only the water and the hearts, but it's also part of the swing. Wow. And then let's see, there's any other sprites like that? Yep. Sprite one is also part of it. And then so if you put them together, you get that. And let's see if we go here. Ah, look at that. when you're just idle, you don't see yourself. But when you swing, you got you can see on sprite 2. And now if we combine that with sprite 3, um, wow, interesting. So, and yeah, there's there's a lot to be discovered there. I would probably take more time to figure out exactly how that's being put together, but uh, it's very interesting. And so yeah, so it goes past the 32 pixel boundary, which is, pretty much that stance there, and then boom. So it gets an extra 16 pixels, it appears. Um, but yeah, that's amazing. And look at the use of sprites here, right? People will always say, oh, the Amiga doesn't have the greatest sprite hardware, but that's a lot of action just with the sprites. Like, look at 1, 2, 3, boom, no sprites. So, big difference. So they really knew what they were doing there. Um, let's see. Okay, now if we want to go and we'll put everything back, we'll put the bit planes back, and we've got yeah, it's dual playfield, right? So it means on OCS, ECS, that means 6 bit planes, and they're on they're even and odd. So if you switch just the even ones, right? So uh, take that out like that, and you keep the sprites in the background, and then look at that. You just have the foreground. So there's those 3 bit planes, bit plane 0, 2, and 4, and you've got that. And then if you switch it and do just the even ones, so we'll go 1, 3, and 5, and then look at that. You just have the background, and then the bottom. I'm not sure what's going on with the bottom there, but uh, yeah, so you have that amazing parallax background, and yeah, if you take one bit plane at a time, it looks kind of funny because the way that it works, so the colors come together um, and combine to make the right color. So that's what each one looks like. And then if you have no bit plane, then you just have the copper in the background. So uh, very impressive how it's all done. I think the game's a little slower in the debugger here, so just make amends for that. Um, And there's a great blitter visualizer that is part of this, but yeah, somehow I broke it earlier today, so hopefully future videos will have a lot of the blitter visualizer, but there's not as much blitter stuff in this game, right? Because the main character is a sprite, so just the enemies. Um, so I would have to check that at a different time because I feel like the blitter visualizer is not working at the moment. And so what else do we have here? The bitplane pointers, that just does that. I don't really understand that as fully. And then if you want to turn the blitter right off, and then look at the scrolling, it just you know lots of lots of craziness, and even well, it's probably other parts of the memory up there. So yeah, it screws everything up. So I want to put blitter back on. And then there's also this really cool feature, which is the copper block. So, oh wow, uh, that's interesting. That's okay. How did this work again? I think you have to move this over and hit copper block. Oh yeah, let's move this right over. Where is it? Oh, here it is. So this blocks the copper and the where you drag it to. So let's go to the top. This will be more interesting. Watch this. As you come down, you see that all the color and the copper sky. So the copper is very powerful. Doing all that right there. That's just amazing. I have it paints all that in the background. So you're only supposed to have. People always complain about dual playfield, right? Because there's only 7 colors in the foreground and 8 colors in the background. But you would never know it, right? Because I think there's over 100 colors when you add the copper and you change the palette. So yeah, there's so many tricks you can do, make a beautiful, beautiful game. Uh, so what else is there here? Let's see. There's also the audio. The audio, it might be my computer, but it's kind of glitchy. So that doesn't sound very good. That's not how it's supposed to sound. But you can go channel by channel and look. So like here is, you take it out, you just do the first channel, just the second. There's nothing there. Yeah, so each audio channel, and then the sound effects on the last audio channel. So if you go to audio 2, I don't think you can get a sound effect. Let's see. Yeah, see? No sound effect there. Just on the 4th channel. And earlier when I was messing around, there's also music that comes through on this channel once in a while. I'm not sure if that was an error, but yeah, just once in a while it comes up. So we'll take that off. And then the last part here is the DMA stats. So let's see if I can make this bigger. There we go. So we've got the copper. This is how many slots per frame in the DMA, which is the direct memory access. So you've got the copper is doing quite a bit. It's doing all those colors, and it's doing the line scrolling parallax. And then the blitter is not as taxed at the moment. The CPU is very taxed. The bitplanes a lot. Sprites just a tiny bit. Sprites don't take much. So that's why, they're very helpful. And audio, will that go up if I do that? No, the audio is not much. And so the total looks like they're at about half, right? So uh, let's see if we get an enemy here if that increases. Um, yeah, here we got 2 enemies. Like I say, it's slower than it's supposed to be. So yeah, we get to about half or a little more than the total. Uh, yeah, such a brilliant game. And let's see, this is my favorite part up here. Just to finish it off, move this over so you can see everything. And yeah, I used to do this back, in '93 when I had the game. I would just go up here and just watch. Like I say, it's slower right now, but when it's right, when the scrolling is correct, that's just amazing. Like I just watched that over and over again, and that was one of the things that made me really fall in love with the technical aspect of games, because this one just blew my mind. Lionheart and Agony also. So that's one of my nicknames is Lion Agony because those are my 2 favorite games of all time. So yeah, this is just me first day playing with this amazing new Engine 9000. So let me know what other games you might want me to check or what other things you want to request for me to look into. And yeah, I love doing this kind of stuff. So let me know. And thanks for watching. And hopefully this will be a series that will continue for a while. So again, thanks for watching.